Welcome to AM Best Audio.
Lightning-related losses for U.S. homeowners hit $1.65 billion in 2025, up 59%, according to the Insurance Information Institute. Average claim cost rose nearly 43%, driven by inflation, construction costs, and higher value home technology, with Florida, California, and Texas leading losses. I'm Loretta Worters for AM Best Audio, and joining us now to discuss that and other key insights from the research are Loretta Worters, Vice President of Media Relations at III, and Kelley Collins, Director of Business Development and Communications at the Lightning Protection Institute and co-owner and president of the Lightning Protection University. Loretta and Kelley, welcome. It's wonderful to speak with you both. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Lori. We appreciate the opportunity.
Loretta, we'll kick off today's discussion with you. What's driving the sharp rise in lightning-related claim cost, even as claim frequency increases more modestly?
Well, it's really something. It's the sharp increase is really driven by severity, right? It's the number of lightning claims, as you pointed out, rose 11.6% in 2025. That the total cost of claims increased 59.4% to $1.65 billion. It's an incredible amount of dollars. And the average lightning claims rose 42.8% to $26,606, which reflects the higher repair costs, more expensive materials and labor, and really the growing complexity of what is being damaged inside homes.
Well, Loretta, just expanding on that a bit, how are inflation, rebuilding costs, and more complex home technology changing the severity of those losses?
Well, lightning losses are no longer limited to obvious structural damage. We've seen that. But today's homes include more electronics, smart home systems, security systems, fancy appliances, HVAC controls, and all these connected devices. So when lightning or a power surge damages those systems, claims can become much more expensive. Inflation, again, higher construction costs and labor shortages, all that makes repairs and replacements more costly and increase the average claim amount.
States like Florida, Texas, and California continue to dominate lightning-related claims year after year. Loretta, what factors are driving that trend, and what does it mean for insurers and policyholders?
Well, these states, Florida, Texas, and California, they combine large populations, significant property exposure, and weather patterns that make lightning losses more likely. Florida's, the capital, lightning capital, and Kelley could probably address that, but Florida and Texas experience frequent thunderstorms, severe convective weather, and California has a large property base and, of course, wildlife-related weather risks that contribute to those costs. Florida, California, and Texas, again, they ranked among the top states for lightning claims, with Texas posting the highest average claim severity at $60,382. So it's pretty significant.
Yeah, absolutely. When we take a look at, there are different companies that actually track the lightning data, and Vislex Weather does a fantastic job on that. They're probably the most accurate and the most extensive. And believe it or not, Texas has surpassed Florida in the amount of lightning strikes. So when they look at lightning, they look at the amount of strikes, and they also look at density. So in that concentrated area. So when the number of lightning strikes, that's Texas. When you look at density and the concentrated areas in which they take place, that looks at Florida. I just happened to sit in on a researcher who does research on lightning last week at the International Lightning Safety Day conference that we had. And he was talking about two things that are impacting that is that you have the migration of more people to both of those states. You also have the increase of lightning in those areas. And then they're also seeing an increase in the lightning density in the areas that are more populated, and the growing cities and electric infrastructure that's happening there. So it's an interesting meld of multiple variables that are starting to impact that effect that you're seeing.
Kelley, what role do power surges and indirect lightning damage play in the overall claims picture?
We're not really sure what that what that total is and the difference, but what we do know is that indirect is not even documented sometimes. I mean, for instance, when you take a look at an indirect strike and that's not hitting your house, you might not see fire, you might not see smoke, but that surge is having an impact on some sort of electric device that you might not even go down and look to see if it's even on. So for instance, I had somebody, they had a TV and their cable box in the basement, hadn't gone down. A week later after the storm, they went down and they realized that the indirect hit and that surge actually, destroyed the TV and the cable box in the basement on that breaker. So that's what we really want people to guard against, is to know, in the media, we see the impact of a direct strike. We see that fire, you see the smoke, but it really is, when we're doing lightning protection, protecting against both that direct and the indirect. And it's really important to keep both of those in mind, because I think, as Loretta had mentioned, you've got that increase of, the smart homes and the amount of electronics, that all starts to really add up.
I think, as Kelley points out, it's people don't realize that it can affect your phones, your electric, your cable, even plumbing systems. So, damaging your appliances. And oftentimes people don't use things every day. I mean, we use our TV every day, but a lot of times you don't use certain things that maybe are in your basement. So it's, I don't know, Kelley, would it be safe to say, if you see an impending storm, that you would unplug a lot of those devices, that it would help?
You know what? Absolutely. If you don't have the right surge protection in your house, so for instance, believe it or not, I actually unplug my computers and whatnot, even if I do have the surge protection. But if you have the right surge protection, you're fine. But most of the people who are not looking at lightning protection systems or don't have one in their house, that's a great idea, because you're safeguarding your electronics. Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember I had a situation where a lightning struck prior to my knowledge in working in this industry, and I lost a TV and something else. And it was like, well, wait a minute, what happened here? Because, you didn't think about that.
Right.
So it's a lot of people don't think about what the impact can be.
And you know what, Loretta, you made a good point too about the electricity flow. And we think of, sometimes maybe we should be more clear on what that indirect strike could be, is that, it's not just an indirect strike and you get that power surge that comes over the lines. That indirect strike could be in your backyard and it hits one of the pipes, or from the water line or the electric line, and that energy from that strike in your backyard hits those pipes and goes into your house through that way. So I had a gentleman who actually, funny enough, he actually is in surge protection, and he put in a new sprinkler system, and he did not get to putting on a surge protection on the control system that operated his new sprinkler system. He lost his sprinkler system because of a lightning strike that happened in his backyard. So it's not just the power surges, it actually could be a strike that happens on ground and hits some sort of piping system that is outside of your house, and that energy flows directly into your house, impacting what's inside.
Customize your data experience. BestLink now offers an interactive company dashboard that provides company-level intelligence in a fast, user-friendly interface featuring interactive tables, charts, and Sparkline performance histories. Customize the dashboard tiles to prioritize the insurer ratings, data, and analytics that best support your workflow. AM Best. Our insight, your advantage.
And Kelley, just expanding on that, how are insurers and homeowners adjusting mitigation and preparedness strategies to reduce lightning-related losses?
That's a good question, Lori. I think that, Loretta and I have talked about this probably over the last couple of years as we've kind of seen some of the changes. And I think that there's an awareness, but I don't think that there is an understanding of how that mitigation process could take place. I think when you look at floods, it's a much more expansive disaster, and it's more visible, and there's a sense of needing to take that protection. Same thing, with a hurricane. When you're talking about lightning, it's like this one event, so it's really hard for people to understand the need or the reason for that mitigation. And I think just with the information that we're coming with the increase of lightning, and we're seeing the stats that are happening in insurance, I think this might actually be the pivotal time when we're actually able to move that discussion to how to mitigate and how to take action to protect your home and what's inside.
Yeah, and it's, as you say, Kelley, emphasizing that preparedness and resilience and risk reduction. But, the other thing that gets me too is people don't realize that even wildfire prone areas of the country, that when the land is dry, when the lightning strikes, we're having wildfires too. So it's not just fires, regular fires from lightning. It's also these incredible wildfires that are happening too. And what people need to do in terms of mitigation, another important part, even though it's surge protections and those things are important too, but also defensible space, right? Because keeping the brush clear from your home, because if it's a dry area and lightning strikes, it could, cause a fire.
Loretta, looking ahead, what do these trends suggest about the future of weather-related homeowners claims and catastrophe risk in the U.S.?
So, I guess the trends suggest that homeowners' claims are going to continue to be shaped not only by how severe weather occurs, but by how expensive each loss becomes. As Kelley's pointing out, we're seeing more severe storms, higher rebuilding costs, inflation, and that's really having an impact on the cost of things, and increasing technology dependent homes. We're all contributing to those losses. When you've got smart devices in your home, it's going to cost more. So for insurers and homeowners, I think the focus will increasingly be on mitigation and resilience and, accurate risk-based pricing.
And Kelley, as we wrap up, are there any final thoughts you'd like to share with our audience?
I think the biggest thing is that, take a look at your home, take a look at what is inside, take a look at what your own personal resiliency strategy is going to be for that home. And if, clearly the Lightning Protection Institute has a resource page that can get people started with understanding how lightning protection systems work, and how they should be installed correctly. And I think that's probably the first thing to lead with is understand what that system is, and understand how it should be done properly so that you can create that resiliency for your home and the contents of your home.
Loretta and Kelley, this is wonderful advice. This has been such a fascinating and informative discussion, and it's been such a pleasure speaking with you both. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lori. Appreciate
Have a good
it.
one.
That was Loretta Worters, Vice President of Media Relations at III, and Kelley Collins, Director of Business Development and Communications at the Lightning Protection Institute and co-owner and president of the Lightning Protection University. For AM Best Audio, I'm Loretta Worters.
Looking to get the full attention of the insurance industry? We have the platforms that will do just that. Whether it be AM Best TV, AM Best Audio, Best Review Magazine, or Best Day. Find out more by calling AM Best Advertising Sales at 908-439-2200, extension 5399, and have a great day.